Welcome to Millionaire Case Study. This is episode 24. Hey guys, so 24 has been pretty busy. It's been a busy week, and so I'm just going to go over several things to update you where I am on this entrepreneur's journey from zero to my first $1 million. So this last week, I just barely started accountability calls with my new business coaches. Well, I renewed with my business coach, and his wife, Megan, is actually my accountability coach now. And so we just started with that, which I'm pretty excited for, because not only are they working together, but I am a huge believer in accountability. And I know that it's something that you need to have if you want to be very effective. So I just already started that this last week. By the way, today is July 25th, 2016, just so I have that in there. A bunch of other things happened over the last week. So in terms of my social media management, that's what I'm trying to get rolling. That's what my big goal is to get this social media business running. And over the last week, I've been working with a company to get my first ever virtual assistant that will do the fulfillment side of my social media. Because what I realized after talking to my business coach and strategizing is the fulfillment side of things is not my strong suit. And if I get to the point where if I have goals to make $5,000, $10,000 a month in my business, then 20, 30, 50, 70, 90, $100,000 a month, then I need to not have my focus on the fulfillment, because if I get a few clients in, then I get weighed down, and it makes me want to not work as hard to get that next client. So I'm trying to start from the very beginning, and I keep saying this word try. I freaking hate the word try, because it's what I'm doing, and I know it's probably not a good thing psychologically. That's just kind of a side note. But what I'm doing is my goal is to get somebody and start building a team from the beginning that can do the fulfillment side, so that I can put my focus on relationships and bringing in new clients. The thing that looks like that I believe I can do best. What else with social media management? I came up with a list of, I think I mentioned this last episode, but I have a list of people that I'm going to contact to get into the groove and to just ask for referrals for my social media management. I'm still so new at this that I haven't really done it on any large scale, so this is all just brand new, and I'm going to be working at it over the next several weeks. Another thing that has been a big focus of mine is speaking. I want to get into public speaking, and I've mentioned it, and I know I've mentioned it in other episodes, but this last week, I talked with somebody who was a referral, and this person has helped other people that have launched books get on stages. So I just had a conversation with her about potentially working with her to get me in bureaus or something to get on stages, and she had me update what's called a press kit, and I uploaded it to my website so it looks more official, and then I officially announced on my website, or I officially announced on my social media, that I am now accepting bookings. So that's a big focus of mine. And there's another thing I want to say about speaking, but I'll save it for just a second when I talk about the event I went to. Another thing I did that I just want to document is I signed up for something that could prove to be one of the craziest things I ever do, and that is I signed up for a 50-mile ultra marathon. Now, why did I do this? I did this because I believe that a lot of the limitations that we put up, or a lot of the limitations that we think are just existent in life, of why we can't have something or why we can't do something, we think they're external issues, and I believe that they're an inside game. And that's what this is representing to me. Is when I first had the thought of running an ultramarathon, 50 miles, I was like, holy crap, there's no way. Because I've never even run a marathon before. I didn't even run a half marathon at the time when I had the idea. And then I realized how many people actually run ultramarathons. And it just made me say, you know what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to run an ultramarathon. And so I signed up for it. It's in September, about 8 weeks away. And it's official, so I'm going to go after it and we'll see how it turns out. Now, another big piece of a big part of this last week was I went to Las Vegas for this event. It was put on by Keith Yackey, his first ever event. It was awesome. And I connected with so many awesome people there. And that's what I'm starting to realize what is so valuable about these events, besides the content. The content's almost a bonus to me, because I've been able to go to these events and just have some amazing conversations with people and just get to really know people. One person that I got to meet and talk to was Hal Elrod, who wrote The Miracle Morning. The Miracle Morning has had a huge impact on my life, on what I do with getting up in the morning and what my morning routine is all about. The Miracle Morning has a lot of pieces of things that I've always known, but it just put it together in a nice organized way, and Hal is a huge person to thank for that. He's had a huge impact on the effectiveness I have in my whole day because of what I do in the morning. And I was able to have some really enjoyable conversations with him, ask him some questions about how he did his book. By the way, he's actually the one that got me started with the idea to run an ultramarathon, because in his book he talks about how he did that. Before he even ran a marathon, he decided to do an ultramarathon, and he ran 50 plus miles. It was crazy. And so I figured if Hal can do it, then Cal can do it. What else? Oh, something interesting is he showed a graph of his book sales. And what was super interesting is his book sales did not have an awesome launch necessarily. It didn't come out right out of the gates like spiking and then fall off. It was the opposite. And in fact, that's how most book launches are. It looks like they spike up and then they die. But his was kind of steady, and then over time it shot up. And what I learned from Hal is he continued to promote his book. And that was huge for me, because here I am almost done with my book launch. Really, I'm giving away, I just gave away an iPad mini, who actually my mentor Marion Timpson won it, so I was super pumped for that. I'm giving away the MacBook Pro this Friday, and I was thinking then that was pretty much going to be the end of the promotion. But not now, not after talking to Hal, because he continued to promote it on podcasts and all these other mediums. But mostly podcasts. He said he was interviewed like 250 times where he promoted his book. And it took him more than a couple years before it really blew up. And that was the advice he gave to me, is keep promoting this on podcasts. So that's what I'm going to do. I had a New Year's resolution that I set in January that I was kind of letting just dwindle and didn't think it was very important. And that was to be on 100 podcasts this year. I've been on about 20 so far. But after talking with Hal, I'm going to give that a push. I want to get on more podcasts and promote my book. Oh, I can't believe I almost forgot. Huge, huge, huge win. Speaking of podcasts, I am going to be on Entrepreneur on Fire, John Lee Dumas's podcast. This is the biggest podcast ever. And it's the biggest business podcast, the biggest business entrepreneurial podcast. And one of my friends recommended me to John Lee Dumas. And he was like, yes, let's make it happen. And this is a huge deal. Why is this a huge deal? I'll kind of give you an idea why. This has been a huge dream and vision of mine. As a matter of fact, if you look at my vision board, right there on my vision board, I have JLD, Entrepreneur on Fire podcaster, and a picture of me on there as though I'm his guest. And so it's actually going to happen. The intro email was just barely sent, and now we just have to connect and make it actually happen. So, man, I'm super pumped that I'm going to be on Entrepreneur on Fire. It's just super awesome. Now, at this event, another thing that was a huge piece was speaking. I want to get into speaking, and that's a huge goal and vision and dream of mine. And I met a guy named Pete Vargas, and that's what he does, is he helps people get on stages. But what was super cool is I met with him at lunch one of the times, and one of the days, and he was like, this is how you research events. Go do this and then come back to me when you're done doing that. So I went and researched. He said, go get a list of 10 events. After researching how he told me to, it was super easy. I came back with a list of 15 events. And then we met several hours later, and something that he said to me was super cool. There was me and one other guy standing there, and he was like, just so you guys know, I gave the same exercise that I gave you to at least 15 other people, and you two are the only ones that did it. So that's freaking awesome. Congratulations, first of all. And secondly, I'm proud of you. That's freaking awesome. So because of that, because we actually did what he told us to do, he was super happy and excited to work with us. And so he gave me some tips on how to reach people and what to do to have a video in the email. And right now I'm in a spot where my next task is to write out a script of what I want to say to these people. So I'm going to write out a script and then email it to Pete. So that's where I'm at with speaking. And this week I'm going to kind of give one big push for my book. I'm going to go to my entire friends list and ask anyone that I'm not sure if they bought the book, if they would buy the book. I'm going to contact a few people for my social media management services. And speaking of all this, I want to be open and transparent where I am financially. Because that's something that's huge with what this episode, or what this whole Millionaire case study is about, is being open, honest, and transparent with my numbers. So I bid out of solar, like I said, like I mentioned in an earlier episode. I'm in a tight spot. I'm in a tighter spot than I have ever been in years and years. I have essentially one client that's going to be paying me $400 or $500 a month with my social media management services. It's so tight that I basically hit zero when I did finances this month. And so what I did is I contacted my 401k people that was from my old job, and asked them if they would let me cash out whatever little bit of cash I had in my 401k so that I can survive. So I just have got to get some things clicking money-wise and things coming in, because right now I'm almost to the bare bones. It's very scary, but I'm trying to not be worried. There's that word, try again. I am focusing on what actually needs to be done, and it's my intention to not freak out, because I don't believe that freaking out is going to help me do anything. And what I'm doing then is taking the pressure, if you want to call it that, to need to make something work, and use it to get me into action to make something work. And do I know if it's going to work? I don't know. We'll see. Over the next several weeks and months, time will only tell. It's so weird. On one side of it, I feel like I'm to a breaking point almost. And what if it doesn't work? What if I run completely out of money and I have to either go in debt or get an employee job? There's that side of it. But then the other side of it tells me that I am so close. So close. Just a few high-paying clients and I will take that and I will run with it. Just 1 or 2 paid speaking gigs, and I will take that and I will run with it. I feel like I've never been closer. It's weird because at the same time I've never been more broke than I am right now in my adult life. Just looking at my bank account. But I feel like I've just never been more close than I am right now. And man, do I want to pierce through. So that's going to be it for this episode of Millionaire Case Study. Episode 24. I just want to say thank you so much. I hope this is giving you value, seeing what one entrepreneur is doing to make it happen while it's actually happening. So you're not just hearing about the story later on. So I'd love to hear about you. I'd love to hear what you're up to. I'd love to hear your entrepreneurial journey and story. Feel free to drop a comment in the comment section below. If there's anything I can do to support you while you're on your journey, then please let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next Millionaire Case Study episode.